Hello friends, the 3.5-liter naturally aspirated V6 is the only engine for all MDXs. Before restyling, it developed 243 horsepower, J35A3, and after completion, 263 horsepower, J35A5. The engine is equipped with a VTEC system that controls valve timing and valve lift. It adjusts intake valve opening times in response to RPM, delivering decent torque from idle to 6,200 RPM. The timing mechanism is driven by a toothed belt with a recommended replacement interval of 100,000 kilometers. Pillows, supports of the engine, and gearbox are rented after 150 to 250,000 kilometers. There are 5 in total. After 250 to 350,000 kilometers, the crankshaft reel oil seal may leak. Along with it, it is also necessary to change the sealing ring of the oil channel, which may also leak soon. After a while, interruptions in the operation of the engine are often observed. It is possible to get rid of the disease after cleaning or replacing the idle and EGR valve, flushing the throttle valve, cleaning the intake manifold, or replacing the PCV valve, crankcase ventilation. Soon it is the turn of the oxygen sensors and the catalyst. Also requiring attention are the starter bendix, the diode bridge of the generator, and the fuel pump. Sometimes piston rings get coked and lie down. Oil consumption increases. In rare cases, with high mileage, one has to deal with wear on the camshaft cams or turning the liners. The high-speed, 5-speed automatic transmission works well in conjunction with the engine. Acceleration to 100 kilometers per hour takes just over 8 seconds. Before restyling, an MGHA box was used, and after, MDKA. The first automatic transmission repair may be required after 250 to 300,000 kilometers. As a rule, the solenoids, the oil seal, and the torque converter lock up, the 4th and 5th packs, the first gear overrunning clutch, the regulator, and the pressure sensor wear out. After a quality overhaul, the machine will last at least 100 to 150,000 kilometers. The box may be in the service earlier due to a rotten fitting on the radiator. As a result, antifreeze can get into the box. Less often, the machine simply loses oil. The defect is typical for restyled versions. It is believed that the transmission fluid cooling system in the automatic pre-styling machine is less efficient, which leads to rapid aging of the oil and wear of the box. Therefore, some owners install an additional radiator, which was done by Acura engineers after restyling. The VTM4 multi-purpose torque distribution system is a unique computer-controlled system. Most of the time, the car remains front-wheel drive, but when the system sees fit, when accelerating or sliding, it will direct some of the torque to the rear wheels. Instead of a center differential, 2 electromagnetic clutch packs are installed, distributing torque between the rear wheels. If necessary, at speeds up to 28 kilometers per hour, the driver can use the lock by pressing the appropriate button on the dashboard. As a result, about 54% of the torque will be transmitted to the rear wheels. The VTM4 all-wheel drive system is quite reliable. It even independently notifies the forgetful owner that it is time to change the oil in the rear gearbox. A crunch appears. As a rule, after updating the fluid, extraneous sounds disappear. Only in rare cases is it necessary to change the gearbox itself. The fluid in the transmission should be updated every 24 to 48,000 kilometers, depending on operating conditions. However, interruptions in the operation of the system still occur, most often due to a failure of the oil temperature sensor in the rear gearbox. Less commonly, failures occur due to oxidation of the contacts in the TMV block connector. In extreme cases, the block itself may also fail. It is necessary to solder it. In addition, the system is disabled in case of misfires and errors in the catalyst, oxygen sensors, and the crankshaft position sensor. In the transmission, after 250 to 350,000 kilometers, it is necessary to change the crosses of the cardan shaft. At the same time, CV joints are also handed over, which are recommended to be changed only complete with drives. At one time, Acura engineers talked about the MDX's suspension being tuned closer to sports sedans. The crossover really rides well, but with sharp maneuvers, the body rolls excessively. The MDX is much more agile and coordinated than most SUVs, but it's nowhere near the handling of the BMW X5 E53. The brakes work well and the steering is reasonably precise at high speeds. After restyling, the front brakes received more powerful two-piston calipers. The steering has also undergone minor upgrades. In older specimens, the power steering pump and high-pressure hose may need to be replaced, or you will have to repair the steering rack. In restyled versions with the VSA system, it is sometimes necessary to calibrate the steering angle sensor. Ball bearings and silent blocks of the front levers will last more than 200 to 250,000 kilometers. Soon, the silent blocks of the rear levers will also require replacement. With age, the breakup bolts of the rear axle turn sour. After 200 to 300,000 kilometers, the suspension springs noticeably sag, and the coil can still break off at the front ones. Springs exist only in the expensive original. The front wheel bearings run over 150 to 250,000 kilometers, and the rear ones more than 250 to 300,000 kilometers. They change separately from the hub, but it's difficult to do it on your own. You need a press. The body of the luxury SUV is not prone to corrosion. However, on older MDXs, you can find bloom along the lower edge of the tailgate, on the front edge of the hood, and on the rear wheel arches. Corrosion actively attacks the guides of the front and rear side windows. With age, the stoppers of the door limiters wear out, and they cease to be fixed in the open position. The Acura MDX offered a synchronized climate control system in which the front and rear systems are completely independent. The rear fan may fail in the segment of 200 to 300,000 kilometers due to a blown thermal fuse of the power resistor. In addition, worn motor brushes can become a cause of failure. The same is true for the front fan. The lack of warm air in the cold season often occurs due to a clogged heater radiator. After 250 to 350,000 kilometers, the central monitor may fail. The transistors burn out. Sometimes the monitor can be brought back to life with a soldering iron, but the result and longevity are not guaranteed. A little later, the navigation unit may also fail. The heating of the driver's seat does not differ in durability. The power wire burns out. In addition, sometimes the SRS airbag control unit is buggy. It turns off the right passenger airbag on its own. If you know of other model malfunctions, be sure to write about it.